Good evening, and welcome to Loudmouth Radio Network. This is a live broadcast being fed via internet at blogtalkradio.com/loudmouthradio. It's a beautiful night and evening in the metro Atlanta area. We're so happy to broadcast to you live on this beautiful Monday evening. Tonight's show will be featured online at loudmouthradio.com. For all the listeners that are listening in online, make sure you chat with us at loudmouthradio.com. We'll have a small chat line open for you to actually be able to chat and interact with our hosts and guests for the evening. If you're on Facebook, on Twitter, and you're listening to this broadcast, please tweet us at loudmouth, LOUDDMOUTH, and use the hashtag The Universal Mind as you're posting comments about tonight's show. If you're on Facebook, connect with us at Loudmouth Online. Don't forget to put 2 Ds in that actual feature as you're doing your actual Facebook searching. This show will be available for download after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our shows are all via internet, on demand 24/7 at loudmouthradio.com. And now we're also available and showcased on Stitcher, the number one source to find on-demand podcasts across the world. We are now one of over 15,000 major networks that are a part of Stitcher Radio, to where you can hear us on your iPhone, iPad, Android phones, and tablets, as well as in 4 million in-car dashboards. So if you're one of those lucky people that have the ability to listen to us online in your car while you're riding, please do so. We broadcast live each and every week, Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. This show itself will be a featured show that will be available, once again, like I said, after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd like to thank our sponsors, AtlantaCarFinders.com, for being a featured media partner with Loudmouth Radio, where they're the number one referral source to help you find your next vehicle. Digimo Printing of Stockbridge, Georgia, who has been faithfully with us, providing our small business owners the opportunity to have professional design work done, as well as we also want to make sure that you know about Fletcher & Sons Auto 2 Repair that's located in Jonesboro, Georgia. This actual company is a specialized ASE-certified mechanics that specialize in foreign and domestic repair. Our customers are all in the located metro Atlanta area. They're also giving our actual Loudmouth listeners the opportunity to take advantage of $75 special to have your AC checked with them. That's leak diagnostic as well as a full service charge. Contact them today at 770-471-0116, and be sure to connect with Digimo Printing online at digimoprinting.com. And now we would like to bring in your host, Mr. Roderick Watkins.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins. Looking forward to tonight's show as we discuss the benefits of hypnotherapy. I've had the pleasure of taking a hypnotherapy certification some years ago, and it's definitely one of the upcoming new areas in psychology. The American Psychology Association recognizes hypnotherapy as a scientific technique that can be used alongside with psychotherapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, among others. So I'm happy to be discussing this topic tonight. Let me tell you the definition of what they consider hypnosis today. According to the American Psychological Association, the division, they actually have a division for psychological hypnosis. Hypnosis is a procedure during which health professionals or researchers suggest, while treating someone, that he or she experiences changes in sensation, perception, thoughts, or behavior. And so today we're going to go and we're going to discuss some of the benefits of hypnosis. Hypnosis is used in many different areas like I said, for many different treatments. It's used in the treatment of pain, used for depression, anxiety, and phobias, for stresses, habit disorders, even gastrointestinal disorders, skin condition, post-surgical recovery, relief from nausea, vomiting. I mean, the list goes on. And they actually have they're actually doing research and have been able to prove that there are beneficial effects from hypnosis. So for all of you out there who've been thinking about hypnosis or wanting to try it, I suggest you go out there and find a certified or licensed hypnotherapist that can help you with some issues that you're dealing with. And also make sure to check with your regular health practitioner or doctor who you normally see. Tonight's guest, I've had the pleasure of working with, or actually was a teacher of mine. She is the one that taught me about hypnosis or hypnotherapy. Her name is Linda Bennett. She is a part of the Heart-Centered Healing is the name of her company. Linda Bennett is a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a board certified hypnotherapy instructor. She has taught in both California and Arizona. She has also been certified as a substance abuse specialist, as well as an ordained minister. Her work, she's utilized hypnotherapy. She's utilized proven techniques such as therapeutic imagery, inner child work, regression therapy, hypnokinesiologist, among other things. She's written several books and CDs regarding hypnotherapy, and she is also part of the International Association for Regression Research and Therapies. So let's bring Linda Bennett on. Linda, are you with us?
Hi, Roderick. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear us?
Oh, good. I can hear you, but I wasn't sure if you could hear me.
Okay. Yep, we got you. Got you.
Good.
How are you today?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited to talk to you about something that we're both pretty passionate about, which is hypnosis.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was just telling the audience how hypnosis is just one of the upcoming techniques used by psychologists and therapists today, and that there's been a lot of support scientifically to show the benefits of hypnosis. How have you seen hypnosis as far as coming into the mainstream? How have you seen things change over the course of your career?
You know, it's interesting because I got involved in this field, over 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, a few people talked about hypnotherapy, but not like today. There's a lot more interest. There's interest in so many different areas, and what I find fascinating is not just individuals learning a skill that they can then use as a profession, but how many people are interested in learning it for their own self-development.
Right.
And so it's happening in all areas of our lives. It's both, in the medical arena, there is more and more interest right now in looking at hypnotherapy, or what they would call guided imagery, even though it's still hypnotherapy. Some people will term it guided imagery, working with post-traumatic stress disorder. There's lots of new research coming out of the UK around Alzheimer's and dementia. And so we know that there's more and more interest happening all the time at exploring this phenomena, which, interesting enough, goes back to the beginning of time. It's not really brand new, but a lot of people think it is.
Right, which is most of the stuff that I talk about on this show. And I'm glad that you mentioned that this is about self-development as well, that people can utilize this as a tool in order to manifest the changes that they want in their life, or to overcome boundaries or difficulties that they might be having or have been dealing with for a lifetime. Yes,
absolutely. And I think there's a theory out there that says that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, meaning that the client, the person who's doing the work, they're always in control. So it's really up to them what they're going to get out of a hypnotherapy session. And if it's all self-hypnosis, then the ideal situation is that one learns how to apply these skills in their everyday life and improve their lives. So it's something that we all have the ability to do.
So let's talk a little bit more about that now. How does hypnosis do that? How does hypnosis allow me to change behavior or to change myself? What part of the brain, or what is it doing to me? Or
what it is, it's not so much the part of the brain. I mean, there is definitely more of a right brain activity when we're doing hypnosis, which means more of the creative side of us, the problem-solving side of us. And it's about the subconscious mind. The brain and the mind are a little different. It's about that if you were to imagine, for example, an iceberg, that your conscious mind is the part that's sitting above the waterline.
Right.
The subconscious, unconscious, collective unconscious is all below the waterline. And so we don't realize, as we're, if we're the Titanic, that as we're tooling along in the water, that there's something below that could get us in trouble. It also can help us. So it's the information that lies below the surface that, if we choose to tap into it, can be a wealth of possibilities.
Right, and I think that it's been proven that that we do have a lot of information that we access subconsciously.
Right.
I mean, there are so many autonomic body functions that happen automatically without our control, such as our breathing, or although we can take conscious control of that if we like to, but our heartbeat. Right. And all those different things. So that I definitely understand what you're saying, that information already exists inside of us. So you're saying that we can actually or to some extent tap into that and utilize it for other areas of our life.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, that if we're only operating on our conscious mind level, at least from our awareness, then we're missing all the possibilities that lie in that underneath the waterline, so to speak. So it's like your subconscious stores every experience you've ever had. And then what it does is it almost creates like a file system. In other words, have you ever known someone who overreacted in a situation and you can't quite understand why they're so angry? Or you yourself have overreacted and you don't quite understand it. And it's like what we've almost done, in a simplistic sort of way to explain this, is we have this internal file system. And we have a file for joy, and we have a file for anger, and we have a file for fear. And we put every experience that's related emotionally to that in this file system, in these different files. And then fear gets triggered, and all of a sudden the whole file opens up. And we overreact to the given situation, but where all that other information has been added to the experience. And so sometimes we don't understand why we're overreacting, but it's because we have all this information at the subconscious level.
Oh, okay. So something that triggered an event is also sort of like a domino effect. It's adding from the collective experience of anger that's trapped within our subconscious.
Right.
So we may over a simple situation may cause us to explode because we're dealing with all the other anger issues around a similar experience that we haven't been able to resolve.
Exactly, which is like road rage is a perfect example of that.
So they're not really mad at that road rage, but there's some other things subconsciously that are coming, that's being triggered by that experience.
Yes, it's adding fuel to the fire, so to speak.
Gotcha.
And so the beauty of working with hypnosis, whether you do it self-hypnosis or with somebody facilitating it, is you're going into that file cabinet that's stored down in the basement that you haven't looked at for years, and then you get the opportunity to filter stuff out. That just because, and what happens is we have what we call these defining moments, and in fact it's a new book that I'm working on writing, that we define our lives by big moments and sometimes little moments, but our definition of the moment is sometimes a misperception, a misunderstanding. If you have a moment, for example, as a child, and you spilt your milk and your parents yelled at you, you can lock that moment in that you're bad or something's wrong with you when it was just a moment. But once we lock it in emotionally, then we create a story and we define ourselves from a moment.
Right.
And with the help of hypnotherapy, we can go back in, relook at those, and redefine them with a new framework.
Now, is this sort of like child or working with the inner child? Is this the same as regression therapy, or are those two things different?
They're very similar. They can be very similar. The thing is, a lot of times in more traditional therapy, you're talking about these events, and a lot of times people say they don't remember their childhood, or they don't remember this, or when this initial sensitizing event may have happened. And yet, when you go into the subconscious level, when you get the conscious mind out of the way, that's when memory recall can surface, and all of a sudden we can have images, thoughts, feelings of things we had completely forgotten about.
Okay, so now when you go in and you're doing this healing, are you a common term they use in psychology circles, are you reframing, or are you actually replacing these thoughts? What's going on there with the traumatic experience? What are you doing with that?
I think it's both. I think sometimes it's reframing and sometimes it's replacing. It's really up to the client what they want to do with it. You know, the bottom line is we want the client to be empowered. What do they need to feel whole, feel complete? What do they need to be able to move forward in their lives? And it's really looking at, we don't go back, you know, we do both with coaching and hypnotherapy. We don't go back into history just to look at history. It's really, how are you today? And how do you want to be? And let's see what's holding you back from being that today. So that's the only time we're going to go back in history, is to see if we can remove a block that may be sitting there that's keeping you from being who you are today.
Now, it's interesting because I've actually had a session with you where you administered hypnotherapy to me as well, and you know I saw some pretty interesting things. And so, is it common for when you go under hypnosis, you might go in for one thing but end up finding whole other issues that you might be dealing with?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very common. I think the bottom line, even if it's somebody who wants to quit smoking, you know, let's take somebody who wants to quit smoking and they think it's just a nasty habit that they want to stop. And when it comes down to it, they're struggling quitting, and they don't understand why they're struggling to quit. And through the process of the session, all of a sudden we discover that the very first time they smoked, they were a teenager, and it either made them feel important with their peers, or very often they're rebelling against authority, parent, school, whatever it may be, and that really did something for them then. And they aren't able to give up that feeling because it's still registered within them, and so that keeps them from letting go of the habit they now want to let go of. So we need to go in and reframe it, change it, replace it, whatever the client wants, so that they can quit.
Great. I just want to remind my audience that you're listening to The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins. My guest today is Linda Bennett, hypnotherapist, and we're discussing the benefits of hypnotherapy. If you'd like to call in and join the discussion, please call us at 347-826-7520, or you can join us online at Loudmouth Radio. So, Linda, can everyone be hypnotized?
Yeah. Everybody can be. Well, let me put it to you this way. There's really about only 3 people that cannot be hypnotized. The first type of person that cannot be hypnotized is somebody who would have a extremely low IQ, and the only reason why they couldn't be hypnotized is just they don't have the ability to focus long enough to get into a good hypnotic trance. The second type of person that cannot be hypnotized is somebody who's under the influence of some chemical substance that would make it difficult for them to focus and concentrate.
Okay.
And the third type of person that cannot be hypnotized is someone who doesn't want to be hypnotized.
Oh, okay. So it is a choice. You have to sort of get the person's permission to hypnotize them.
Absolutely.
They can be resistant.
Yeah, it's never about doing hypnosis to somebody who doesn't want to experience it. Now, there's a zillion reports out there. There's lots of people that would say that hypnosis is mind control, and that anybody can do it to another person. And that's definitely a debatable conversation. And again, the reality of it is when you're looking at hypnotherapy is about a therapeutic treatment for the benefit of the client, but only if the client wants the benefit of the experience.
Right, so they have to be willing on some level in order to experience it. So now you say hypnotherapy, so this isn't something that happens in one session then?
Well, everybody's different. I mean, typically, so in some cases, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I have a little bit of an allergy that's cropping up, and thank you to Arizona sun. Anyway, it's a little hot here today. As far as one session, 2 sessions, typically most people will find that in a very short amount of time they will get relief from whatever it is they're working on. I have seen individuals who have anxiety that after one session it was gone. I've seen people who wanted to quit smoking in one session, and I've seen other people take 10 sessions. It's really individual. There's no guarantee. There's no certain number of sessions it's going to take. And but typically for most people, very few sessions are needed to resolve an issue that they've come to work on.
Gotcha. I just want to read some stats here real quick. There was a study that was done putting men and women under hypnosis, and it said that 58% of the men and 75% of the women reported significant relief from immediately after seeking treatment. It says more than 80% of those reported relief still improved up to 6 years later. Right. And then it also says that only 10% of the participants tried other treatments after hypnotherapy. So those are some pretty good numbers there.
They definitely are, and it's amazing. It's such a gift to work with clients and see their results and the changes that they make in their lives so rapidly, and it's just like I fall more in love with this work every day. I absolutely find it. It's to me, we all should be doing it.
Gotcha. So, what is the most interesting thing that you've dealt with? I guess, or that would really like I see on here you've actually done some past life hypnosis.
Oh yeah.
How's that work?
Well, first of all, I would say that for most people you have to believe in past lives for it to work. However, I have seen people who don't believe in past lives spontaneously drop into a past life. So, it a lot depends on, your belief system, and this is never about changing anybody's belief. It's but with past lives, I find that it can be very therapeutic if you believe that everything is a circle, that there's no beginnings and no endings, but that it just keeps evolving, and that we just keep evolving, that there's no end, there's always a beginning, so it doesn't just stop, and that if we remember information that we studied in school 5 years ago, then why can't we remember information that we studied, 2 centuries ago? This, to me, explains child prodigies. That, I don't believe that spirit just automatically gives gifts to some people and not to others, but that we all have the ability to tap into gifts and talents that we've had in other times and spaces, and if we choose to, we can bring them forth. And that's why sometimes we go to pick up a skill and it just is so easy for us to do, and we don't quite understand. It's because we probably had experience with it before. And this is what clients look for.
And that would also fall in line with the collective conscious, that repository of all the information that we have stored up in there. So hypnosis is sort of a gateway that we can access that information?
Absolutely. It takes us, again, out of the constraints of what we know as the physical world. And it puts us in an environment where there are no boundaries. And therefore, we can tap into all that's out there and connect with, be it ascended masters, spirit guides, loved ones that have passed on. I mean, the possibilities, again, are endless, and it's just amazing what we can gain from it.
Very, very, very interesting. So what is the strangest thing that you've treated?
Strangest thing? Well, I don't know that I would ever say anything's stranger than others. I think I've definitely had, people come to find interesting information and sometimes not happy with what they find. For example, I had someone come to me who wanted to recall a car accident that they were in because they were convinced that if they could recall, they were on a motorcycle, and if they could recall what happened and get the license plate number of the car, then they could go after whoever hurt them. So we went back into hypnosis to find this, and then they came out of it and they said, never mind. I said, well, what do you mean? They realized that they'd actually caused the accident themselves.
Oh.
So they weren't quite so pleased with that information, but, it's what they needed to know. So, I think sometimes, people come in looking for certain things, and they, aren't quite expecting the results. I had a gentleman who came in for weight management who, did not have much of a spiritual background, shall we say, wasn't, didn't believe in past lives or anything of that nature, and all of a sudden he saw himself in the Holocaust. And he has this image of himself very thin, and he said, I will never starve again. Now, he came out of the session, and his eyes were as big as saucers, and he says, is that real? And I said, I don't know. What do you think? And he said, that was so real to me, I can't believe it because I don't believe in that kind of thing. However, what we talked about is it doesn't matter if it was real or not. The statement that I will never starve again was there planted in his subconscious, and that's what was causing his problems with his weight. And it could be that he was in a past life. It could be that, at least like when I was in school as a kid, we saw all kinds of movies about the Holocaust, and that could have impacted someone enough to say, I never want that to happen to me.
I am so glad that you brought that up. So the mind uses whatever imagery it needs in order to heal itself.
Right.
Okay.
So we don't need to know if the past life was real or not. What we need to know is what's the message and what can we do with it. There are people who do make a point of trying to get as much information from a past life and then go to prove it. And there have been people who have been able to document things.
Okay.
So there's lots of that out there.
Yeah. I also know that, visualization and imagery are just, like you said, they don't call it hypnotherapy now, but they're utilized almost everywhere that I know, especially in sports now. They're actually having players visualize games or practice how see themselves in the sport that they're doing and showing it better results. after that.
Absolutely. There was a study even done with a group of golfers where they took half the group and had them go out in the golf course and practice a certain amount of time, and the other group, they all were basically at the same level, sat in chairs and just meditated on their golf game, and then took them all out to the golf course, and the ones in the chairs improved as much or better than the ones that were out there practicing.
Wow. So now you brought in meditation. Are meditation and hypnosis the same?
Very similar. Meditation, hypnosis, some people would even put yoga, any kind of imagery work, visualization. They're all part of the same genre of what we call altered states of consciousness.
Okay.
And it's understanding how powerful our mind is. That if we would use it at the level it could be, it's amazing. I mean, how many stories are there where people have done, miraculous healing by doing this work? They've cured themselves from cancer or irritable bowel syndrome or whatever the case may be, based on what they think to be true. And that's really what it comes down to. What do we think and believe to be true about ourselves is what we manifest in the world.
Right. And which is why it's definitely a powerful self-development tool. Yeah. So, sorry, lost my train of thought there. You have me think. I'm just going back to thinking in regards to when I was at Sweeha, where you were. What are, or have you seen any of the spontaneous healing firsthand for yourself?
Physically I have. Do we need to take a break?
Yeah, I think that's my producer letting me know that we're up for a commercial break. So we'll let her come in, and then we'll come back and continue our discussion.
Perfect.
All right, take it over, Sonny.
Also, you're listening to Loudmouth Radio show tonight, The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins, broadcasting live out of the beautiful Metro Atlanta area. Tonight, we're actually featuring our show, The Universal Mind, of benefits of hypnotherapy, with our special guest. Our studio lines are open and available. Please call in at 347-826-7520. We're on location at Tinseltown Studios in the Douglasville area. We'd like to thank our supporting sponsor tonight for having us in tonight and working on our new Loudmouth Radio Network video tonight. So if you actually are looking to get some awesome video done for your business, contact them today. They're available at 5387 Fairburn Road in Douglasville, Georgia. Connect with them today. Also online, look them up, Tinseltown Studios. We'd also like to thank the time of our dedicated media partners and sponsors, Fletcher & Sons Auto Tool Repair, located at 7360 Care Boulevard in Jonesboro, Georgia. Contact them today at 770-471-0116, as well as Digimo Printing. Their phone number today, 770-506-2996. Take advantage of their awesome promotions. You can find them right online on our site at loudmouth.com. We're also available for immediate download after this show, anytime, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at loudmouthradio.com. We're also available now on Stitcher Radio to all my app gurus who are constantly downloading apps, looking for things online. Please make us one of your favorite shows on Stitcher, Stitcher. You can download the app on your iPhone as well as your Android phones. And for all those who have these nice, beautiful cars that have in-car dashboard capabilities, you can listen to us right in your vehicle now to over 4 million people each and every week we're broadcasting. We also want to thank AtlantaCarFinders.com, the number one referral source for your next car. Now back to you, Roderick.
Thank you, Sonny, and welcome back to the Universal Mind with me, Roderick Watkins, and my guest tonight, Linda Bennett, hypnotherapist, as we discuss the benefits of hypnotherapy. And I was just asking you, have you witnessed any spontaneous healings in your career as a hypnotherapist?
I have personally. In fact, early in my career, I was going through a spell where I was having some major joint discomfort, and someone said, well, for your age, you're getting arthritis. And I thought, oh, my goodness, I don't want arthritis. I don't want that to happen. I'm like, I don't,
right.
And it seems like, well, you're at that age, that those things happen, and I just did not want to give into that. So I actually worked with a peer of mine, and we worked on what did I, going into my subconscious, what did I need to know about, what could I do, what healing modalities could I do to help resolve this so that I didn't have arthritis. And I did have a history of arthritis in some of my family members, and I just didn't want to go down that road. So when we did the hypnosis, what came out was a lot of anger and feeling like I was being judged and things of that nature. And it had to do with somebody in my life that was I was in conflict with. And so once I changed and cleaned that up, I've never had a problem since.
Wow. So again, it goes back.
Go ahead.
No, you continue your story, please.
So it was immediate. I mean, it's like the discomfort went away. I don't even use the word pain. The discomfort went away, and I've never had that problem with that particular. It was my knees, and I haven't had problems with my knees, and I dance constantly and do all kinds of things today, and it was so powerful. And it was really recognizing that we hold emotion in our bodies, and that emotion turns into discomfort. And if we can release that trapped emotion and not hold those feelings, then we don't have to have these discomforts in our lives,
It's interesting. I've had several shows already. I have had yoga experts, naturopathic doctors come on, and the same thing is that most emotions can manifest into physical pain. We talk about that over and over again. So I like how all that is correlating or connecting.
Yeah, it's so important. And what most people don't realize is that when it finally shows up as pain, the emotion's been there for a while. It's like the body's signaling, you haven't taken care of this. So what do we have to do to get your attention? So let's make you really uncomfortable, and then you'll do something about it. Hopefully, you just don't reach for a pill.
Which a lot of people do now, right?
Sure.
I mean, you have pills for everything, and
we've been trained that way.
Right. And it's interesting is that people will get, when they aren't even sure the source of the pain, that people will still prescribe them medication.
Well, and, we are a culture that looks for the quick fix. And we have a tendency to assume that things will make us feel better, whether it's addictive patterns that we take on to make us feel better, or a pill that we take to make us feel better, or something outside of ourselves to make us feel better, when the best way to make us feel better is really to get inside and find out what the cause of the discomfort, the out of balance is, and do something healthy about it.
Right. So you definitely suggest inner work.
Absolutely. I don't know, it's, and I know a lot of people are afraid of it. They're afraid they're going to find some big, ugly, dark monster or something of that nature, or some horrible story. And, it's really what our mind does with it that causes us more pain than what probably ever really happened, whatever that may be.
Yeah, there was one on the sister show that follows tomorrow. There was a guest on, and she was saying, have the courage to control your mind, to actually go in and just face those thoughts and those fears that we hold on to. And a lot of times we'll substitute, or we'll find other ways in order to avoid just dealing with those issues directly.
Right. I believe we have a responsibility to be our very best friend, which means if your best friend was in a struggle, you'd sit and listen to them, you'd support them, you'd do whatever you could to help them, and we deserve that for ourselves, and we need to do that for ourselves. But so many of us have developed a real, I'm going to say, not a very kind thoughts about ourselves, not very kind feelings about ourselves, and we don't deserve that.
Right, right. So how does one start, or how does a hypnotherapy session start? How do you induce hypnosis, I guess would be what I'm asking.
Sure. The most important part, at least from my way of thinking, is that a hypnosis session always starts after a really good interview to make sure that we're clear what the client wants to work on. Then the next step is really a good state of relaxation. And it's amazing what can happen just in that state of relaxation. Most people don't know how to relax. They don't think they can relax. You know, people will say, my mind's too busy that I can't even sleep at night, or whatever the case may be, and they just don't know the techniques that they could use to quiet themselves down. And once the body goes into a state of good, deep relaxation, the body begins to repair itself. So healing starts right from that level right there. So the most important piece is, first of all, getting the client into a really good relaxed state. And there are studies out there that say that 1 hour of hypnosis is the equivalent of 4 hours of natural sleep.
Oh.
So many people come out of a hypnosis session feeling so energized and enthusiastic and excited and like they've had a great nap. And that in itself is so good. You know, when you look at there's statistics out there that say as much as 75 to 85% of all visits to allopathic physicians is stress-related. And if you could just relax for a good 20 minutes, your stress level would begin to come down. And so that's the very first thing that's going to come out of a hypnotherapy session, is that you are relaxed and you begin to de-stress. Then the next piece of the session is really goal-specific. What did the client come there to work on? Did they come to work on pain management? Did they come to work on overcoming a fear they have about flying, or a fear they have about moving forward in their life? And so then the intention of the session is specific to that client in that moment, and it could be just clearing whatever's keeping them from their goal.
Gotcha.
And so it could be done, that part of it is done through some sort of metaphorical story, something that we can relate to. For example, one of my favorite ways to clear a problem for a client is to imagine that they're in a waterfall and the problem is just being washed away.
Mm-hmm.
And most people can relate to that kind of image, and they don't have to necessarily consciously know what's being washed away, but just to know that it is powerful. It's like I often tell my clients, they'll say, well, I know what I got rid of. And I say, you know, if you were vacuuming your house, when you vacuum up, you can hear little bits coming up and little pieces of dirt and things like that. And you know that, and you can see that the vacuum cleaner's cleaning something up. When you're finished, you take the vacuum bag out and you throw it in the garbage. Typically, you don't rip that thing open and see what the dirt was.
Right.
So
I love that analogy.
So it's trusting that that's what the subconscious is doing. It's vacuuming out the stuff you don't need, and it's not going to get rid of anything that's important that you need to have.
Wow. So you might go into a therapy session and relieve something you might not even know was relieved, or
right.
healed something that's great. That's brilliant, actually.
That's the beauty of it, is we don't have to go through a lot of trauma and drama about it, but clients will reportedly consistently say, I feel better, but I couldn't tell you why. And it's like, terrific. Do we have to dissect it? No. But let's be joyful that you're feeling better.
Gotcha. Well, Linda, I know you have an appointment later on today or shortly.
Yes.
And so I just really want to thank you again for agreeing to be on the Universal Mind. And can you tell our audience how they can get in contact with you? Do you have Facebook, Twitter? Do you have any upcoming seminars? You also mentioned a book. Anything you want to?
You know, there's a couple of ways they can get a hold of me. The first one is to go to the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts website. It's swiha.edu, and I am on the staff there at SWIHA, and I teach hypnotherapy on campus as well as online. And they can also reach me individually at azheartcoach.com, and that's my website, and there's some videos there of some of my work and my books and my CDs that I publish, and so those are probably the two easiest ways to get a hold of me.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you again. Would you like to add anything else before you go, or?
Well, I would say, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be on here, and I hope we'll see you in one of my online classes soon. And, you know, that I think hypnotherapy is worth everybody at least investigating and experiencing at least once. You know, Dr. Andrew Weil says that he doesn't believe there's anything that hypnotherapy shouldn't at least be attempted for. And again, I've been doing this work for 20 years. I believe wholeheartedly in it, and I think it's worth everybody's investigation, and to learn self-hypnosis is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself.
Well, thank you again. And yes, I'm looking online. I was looking online when we spoke yesterday, so I'm still looking at some of those classes.
Okay. I look forward to it.
All right. Good having you, Linda. You have a good evening.
Thank you, Roderick. You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And that was Linda Bennett, hypnotherapist. And, again, you can contact Linda Bennett. She has at her website a heart-centered coach. That's A-Heart, H-E-A-R-T, centeredcoach.com. Or you can also contact her at the Southwest Institute of the Healing Arts, which is also known as SWIHA. Today our show was discussing hypnotherapy and the benefits of hypnotherapy. If you didn't get a chance to hear the whole show, immediately after this show, it will be available for download at loudmouthradio.com. And or you can go on to and you should be able to download it there. But again, we were just talking earlier today about all the benefits and treatments that they're utilizing hypnotherapy for right now. And so if you didn't get a chance, there were discussions. You can use hypnotherapy for pain management, depression, anxiety, phobias, stress, habit disorders, gastrointestinal disorders, post-surgical recovery relief, nausea, vomiting, even childbirth. So there are many things, and I just suggest that with any type of alternative treatment that you talk with your physician. Before you go ahead and do that. So again, just talking with my producer there. We're actually filming today our promo video here, and so we got the whole gang. We're in the Tinseltown Studios in Douglasville, Georgia, and we're doing an actual promo video, so you'll get to see all the faces of all the radio shows that we have for the Loudmouth Radio Network. And I know Jazzy, or Sonny sitting up here. She got a couple of. We're going to make some announcements and just send out some thanks and to all our advertisers and our promoters again. Again, I want to thank my guest, Linda Bennett, for coming on this evening. And you can look her up at aheartcenteredcoach.com. And if you want to find out more about hypnotherapy. This has been fun. We're doing a lot of big things here at Loudmouth Radio. I've had some amazing guests over my 3-month run and look forward to more guests and more interesting subjects. And please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at R.Y. Watkins on Twitter. And I'd love to hear your suggestions about topics and shows that you might be interested in that we can bring to you. And here is Sonny for our announcements for today. Take it away, Sonny.
Thank you, Roderick. And we would like to thank our guests for appearing on The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins, another awesome show. We'd also like to thank our supporting sponsor for the evening, Tinseltown Studios, located at 5387 Fairburn Road in Douglasville, Georgia, 30135. Make sure you stop in and check out the Asher Studios. They have an awesome platform out here to help small businesses advance themselves. You can contact them at 678-310-4154. Once again, you can contact them at 678-310-4154, and also find them online at tinseltownstudios.com. If you have any special requests, if you have simple questions, you're not sure if they can actually handle a project for you, send them an email at tinseltownstudios333@gmail.com. For all of those that have small children from the ages of 5 and your teenagers, they don't have anything to do up to the ages of 17, you may want to contact them about enrolling your child into the Summer Camp Enrichment Program. This is an awesome program to enrich your child's mind, help them with them socially, also help to teach them some awesome crafts that can advance their life, as well as possibly introduce them to a promising career. This Asher Summer Camp is going to allow your children to take advantage of activities in acting, music, and filmmaking. This is a $99 a week opportunity. Camp has started as of June 3rd. Now, if you bring them out, they'll get free breakfast and lunch. So make sure you pay your bill. You bring your kids here, make sure you pay the bill, man. They got these kids here teaching them awesome things at tinseltownstudios.com. And I'm sure you can actually see more about their projects, the things that they've been doing. They've been here since April of 2013. And I walked into the building myself tonight, and I just think that they're doing an awesome job to be only a few months new. Now, outside of the school and summer camps, they also have plays, movie screenings, a rehearsal space, office space, music studio space. You can host your seminars here. If you need to have video auditions, we're in hot Atlanta. Everybody wants to be a reality TV star. So if you want to make some type of video to produce and send off to these networks and see if you're going to be somebody that they may want to cast as an extra or get a starting part, you might want to come on over here. You also, for all my students who are learning the craft and you need to create your own video reel, don't necessarily have all the working parts of what you need, you might want to connect with Bobby over here. For all my people that are models and they're trying to do more, get some awesome headshots, commercials for your business, full video production, so they can start you from beginning to end. Once again, contact them, 678-310-4154, and that's Tinseltown Studios. You should not forget that there's deep history when it comes to filmmaking. They also have an option to have a recording studio. So everybody wants to sing and be an actor, so there ain't no reason why you can't find something of opportunity here. And they have some awesome rates starting at $35 an hour. Pro Tools, Mac Pro desktop computer interface, all the professional equipment that you need. So without further ado, we'd like to thank our Tinseltown Studio family. Bobby, he's awesome. I've only had a few minutes to work with him, but I see he's a jewel already. We also want to thank our sponsors, Digimo Printing of Stockbridge, Georgia, located at 5365 North Henry Boulevard in Stockbridge, Georgia, 30281. You can contact them at 770-506-2996. Also find them at digimoprinting.com. They're offering our listeners an awesome rate to get 250 business cards for $25. as well as 1,000 flyers, and you get 10 11 by 17 posters free with your purchase for $80. If you need any design work, that would be extra, but trust me, it is so worth it. If you want to see how skilled their artwork is, go to our site at loudmouth.com and follow our blog. You'll see all of the actual individual shows. Each of our shows have its own theme and its own line of information, so you actually can see just how effective these guys are. They've actually done a lot of graphics for BET The Game and other local networks. As well as we want to thank Fletcher & Sons Auto 2 Repair, located at 7363 Terra Boulevard in Jonesboro, Georgia. Their number, 770-471-0116. And if you want to see more about them, visit them on our actual internet TV site, loudmouthtv.com. You'll get a wonderful opportunity to see about the video. They are full-service ASE certified, been in business, well over 30 years of experience. They're professional. They'll make sure that they treat your car right, and they're able to do full service from beginning to end, foreign and domestic. So once again, contact Fletcher & Sons Auto 2. Also, AtlantaCarFinders.com is available to help you with your own custom decisions on how to help you find a car. So if you have credit challenges, have gone through bankruptcy, lost your home, none of those things will stop you from buying a new car. So make sure you go online at AtlantaCarFinders.com today. For all of those who have small business, I'm talking to you now. I want to make sure you know and understand that this is the optimum time to catch on a train that's moving 50 miles faster than you can ever imagine. Loudmouth Media is performing and providing you the best vehicle with Loudmouth Radio Network. So connect with us. Help us to help you. You can be in business for yourself. You ain't got to be in business by yourself. We'll make sure that you are heard. We're on demand 24/7. You can contact us at 706-363-3895. We're available 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, and we're always available by email, loudmouthmedia@gmail.com. And for all of those, like I said earlier in the broadcast, we are now part of Stitcher Radio. For those who are new to Stitcher, Stitcher Radio is the main platform that's advancing Internet radio networks for major networks to be heard throughout the country, throughout the world. Stitcher Radio is important to news talk radio like Pandora is to music. So that's just how big, and we are very blessed, and we're so thankful to know that Loudmouth Radio Network, who's less than 6 months on air, has already become a part of a platform where there's over 15,000 other major Internet radio stations are available. So make sure you favorite our channel, Loudmouth with 2 Ds, LOUDDMOUTH, as well as make sure you stay with us as we're on location at Tinseltown Studios. We're going to be shooting this video, and it will be available to be seen at loudmouthtv.com. So we want to thank all of our listeners for listening in tonight. It's been another awesome episode of The Universal Mind. Make sure you stay tuned this week and catch The Bare Truth, Love, Life, Sex, and Flowers with Ms. Jazzy Jones as she continues her week 2 of talking about sex. And she'll be talking about sexual healing along with her guest, Amani Evans, on air tomorrow night. Wednesday, make sure you tune in for a ridiculous show. I'm going to have the YouTube sensation reality TV star, Foolishness, Funky Deneva, who has had over 10 million views on YouTube. You've seen Funky Deneva on Hip Hop, Love and Hip Hop, The Real Housewives, Candy Coated Night. So this is going to be an awesome, ridiculous show, and we'll be following up with more on Thursday night with Night Talk Live with J.L. King. Awesome opportunity to connect with him. So we want to thank each and every one for listening tonight. Call in 347-826-7520 each and every night at 8 p.m. For all those who need to know, stay above and have faith over fear. Have a good night.